I'm Stacey Holmes, and this is Glordinary, a few moments where we celebrate God's glory and champion the ordinary. I'm glad you're here. Like most of the country, we've had a snow-covered, icy week here in the Mitten State. And as I was driving to meet a couple friends for dinner, the roads were a little bit slippy-slidey. Nothing like white-knuckled steering wheel death grip, but icy enough to know you're not going to want to slam on your brakes. Which is why when the final traffic light turned yellow, there was no way Mama wasn't running that light. Most of us have been driving so long we're just on autopilot when staring down a yellow light. But when you've recently had a student driver, the yellow light paranoia comes rushing back. In driving school, they teach these newbies about the POD, the point of decision. Are you going to slow down or punch it? Life is like that yellow light. Many of us find ourselves facing various point of decision moments. And yes, maybe even in this very moment. Times we've got to decide if we're meant to stop, go, pause, wait. Times we're weighing the options and considering our choices. Jobs, relationships, conversations, opportunities, you name it. Points of decision can be, well, hard. Having an extra set of eyes and ears on it can be, well, less hard. Last week we chatted about some of the ways God speaks in episode 44, You, Me, or Bad Pizza. One of those ways can be through wise counsel, the gift of another's perspective and wisdom passing on to us. When we're facing a point of decision, or even just sensing that something's kind of stirring within us, an open dialogue with some trusted counsel can prove to be the very leading of a good God. Getting out of our own isolation think tank can be just what we need for those points of decision. But who that counsel is and the information exchanged matters. Why? Because who you listen to matters. All counsel is not created equal, and never has this been more obvious than with the story of good old Rehoboam. Now give me a minute to paint this picture for you, because I'm guessing maybe 2% of us remember it or even heard it. Just like our own country experienced a transfer of power this month, so too is the nation of Israel in 2 Chronicles 10. King Solomon's just passed, and his son Rehoboam is set to inherit the throne. However, there's some angst in the land, and golly gee, we wouldn't know a thing about angst within the land, now would we? Well, let's pick up at verses 4 and 5, right as the people confront Rehoboam as he's about to assume the throne. And the people say, Your father put a heavy yoke on us, but now lighten that harsh labor and the heavy yoke that he put on us, and we'll serve you. And Rehoboam answered, Come back to me in 3 days. So the people went away. You gotta love Rehoboam. The people have him cornered, and I get it. I don't love confrontation either. And in the moment, he kind of clams up, says he needs more time, and hightails it out of there. Relate much? Yeah, me too. Rehoboam's at a point of decision. He's approaching the intersection, and the lights turned yellow. He's got to figure out what to do, and fast, like 3 days fast. What's the right decision? What should he do? It's relatable, right? Different details for sure, unless you've got royal blood running through your veins too. Different scenario, but the same crossroads. Even if you've got a deep down sense of what to do, is it the right call? Is it God's plan? Our boy, he starts off strong by seeking counsel, asking for wisdom. But just as we'll see in this story today, who you listen to matters. Rehoboam immediately seeks out 2 groups for advice. The elders who had served his father, i.e. King Solomon's cabinet members, so to speak, and the buddies that he's grown up with, i.e. the ones putting whoopee cushions on the chairs of said cabinet members. Okay, that's not accurate, but yeah, it's accurate. Listen to how he asked the elders who served his father, King Solomon, How would you advise me to answer the people? And they replied, If you'll be kind to these people and please them and give them a favorable answer, they'll always be your servants. Have you ever noticed it can be really hard to hear God's voice if we've already decided what we're going to do? Rehoboam already knows what he wants to do. It goes on to say, but Rehoboam rejected the advice the elders gave him. Because you see, Rehoboam wasn't really seeking advice. He was seeking agreement. He wasn't really asking for advice. He was asking for agreement. And just like in our lives, when we've already made up our minds, we can always find someone to agree with us. Because who you listen to matters. After closing his ears to the elders, Rehoboam next, quote, consulted the young men who had grown up with him and were serving him. And he asked them, what is your advice? How should we answer these people? Notice the nuance here. Rehoboam shifts the pronouns. To the elders, he asks, how would you advise? To the friends, how should we answer these people? Rehoboam already knew what he wanted to do. He just wanted someone to agree with him. And is that so bad? Is it wrong to want someone to agree with our thoughts and plans? No. That is, unless it's bad counsel. You see, at the end of the day, when we face our own points of decision, agreement isn't enough if it doesn't line up with God's wisdom, God's truth. Why? Because our hearts may deceive us. Our minds may lead us in a direction that isn't ultimately what's best. One of my favorite verses ever is Proverbs 27:6, and it says this, wounds from a friend can be trusted. Wounds from a friend can be trusted. Now, okay, I don't love this verse, but I kinda actually do. Because a true friend, giving wise counsel, will tell us not just what we want to hear, will give us truth over approval, will care more about our holiness than our happiness. And that might sound harsh, but it's actually really good counsel and could save us from a heap of heartache. This little Rehoboam story seems so small and insignificant, but actually it was a pretty big deal. Besides being written into the Bible twice, almost word for word, this one little decision changed the course of history forever. An immediate schism occurred. The entire nation split apart following this one decision. But come on, let's be real, right? Whole nations probably won't unravel by any decision you or I make today. True. Yet the principle remains. Advice over agreement. Who you listen to matters. Oh, friend, let's agree to seek out and listen to wise counsel. Counsel that's unmoved by cultural and societal trends, by the latest hashtag movement. Counsel that's backed and vetted on bedrock foundational truth. Counsel that sees past our own blind spots and our soft spots. Are there point of decision moments in your life today? Do you feel stuck, spiraling, and like the come back in 3 days time limit is running out? Grab some coffee with a friend and seek advice over agreement, because who you listen to matters. As always, if you need someone to pray, I'm just an email away. Stacy@glordinary.com. Remember, you're not alone in this. I'm praying for you, friend. Have a glordinary day.